Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Apologies for being late. Let me know if you can see me or hear me. Uh, I know I'm quite late. I said 15 minutes. It's now 23, but I finished like 2 minutes ago. So let me know if you can see me and hear me, first of all, before we dive into anything. Um, but I see and hear you. Fantastic. Yeah, welcome, welcome. We are here to discuss Adulthood Rites by Octavia E. Butler. This is the copy I've got from library right now. I really don't like this cover. I really prefer the other one, but that's like this style. It's not this one. This is the first in the series, Dawn. But that one looks so much better than Adulthood Rites. But yeah, I just finished. This is the first time I actually had to postpone the live show because I did not finish on time. So I apologize for that. But yeah, thank you for waiting. I really appreciate it. And this is going to be an interesting one. I still, haven't had the real time to process anything that actually happened. But maybe we can process it together. I know Natalie finished it today as well, just maybe like an hour ago. So we'll see what we can come up with here. um, so yeah. I just rushed up after making tea, so a few extra minutes to sell is fine by me. Yeah, you got many extra minutes. I'm actually starving, so I'm gonna start dinner. 15 minutes is perfect to get it cooking. That's good. Love when stuff works out like this. Okay, so being late is not the worst sometimes. Hello. I don't like this cover either. Yeah, I don't know what it is about it. It's just so I would never reach out for this book, but it is old. Like maybe back in the day I would have, not today. Copyright 1988. Very old book. Mark got me 2 and 3 for Christmas, and I specifically told him no cover substitutions. So which one do you have? I read the last 48 pages this morning because my brain was too tired last night. Totally fair. So we all remember pretty much very freshly. Those covers are probably why I'm only reading her books now. I have the pretty ones, like the Dawn New Held Up. Okay, that's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, and then here are the Adulthood Rites and Imago in this edition. I like those much better. But since I didn't love this one, I mean it was good, but it was not like maybe I will reread it one day. So I didn't want to buy the sequels. So that's why I got it from library. But though if I were to buy some, I would definitely buy that edition as well. I have to admit defeat. I'm only 73% in. Oh no. That's not good. Are you DNFing, Larissa? I don't think so. Maybe just didn't manage to read it in time. Right? But yeah, let us know if you are DNFing, then we can talk freely. However, if absolutely not, just haven't finished in time. Okay. That's a shame. How much do you have left? Should we just have some sprints and then come back? Or maybe we can discuss things up to 73%. I'm going to put anyway that we are going to be talking spoilers for Dawn, and Adulthood Rites. There we go. Yes, those are my ones. Nice. Uh, okay, yay. Sci-fi for everyone. Yeah, I don't mind spoilers. No, come on. I mean, you of course feel free to stay the entire chat if you want. That's up to you. So what is happening for you right now? Where are you at 73%? I actually don't know 73% where that is. I feel like the end isn't super shocking, or maybe the last part just is short. Yeah, the ending was very rushed, I think. I felt like it all just escalated really quickly and really quickly just stopped. We could have had like one or two more chapters um, there to kind of wrap it up nicely. But we are getting another book, so maybe it's okay. I don't mind that much because we have another book coming. But part 3, chapter 5. Okay. So you're just arriving to the big ship. Um, Akin and Tikuchak were asleep when the shuttle reached Kahich dock. Vishan awoke them with a touch and led them out into pseudo corridor that was exactly the same color as the inside of the shuttle. Okay, so you've got a lot left there. It feels like. So we'll see what we can say without spoilers here. Don't end it with the reveal of Lilith being pregnant. Yeah, maybe it's just not as that. Yeah, yeah, exactly. It ended with Lilith being pregnant and being left behind on the ship instead of being sent to Earth as she was promised and counted on. So that one was very shocking, and actually. Yeah, like 100 pages left, or 2 hours 40 minutes of the audio. Okay, well that's a tad too long, so you will have to finish that on your own. um I felt like the ending was fine, for a little like in the first one, a lot happening in the very end and leaving things halfway open for the sequel. Yeah, pretty much. But egregious, it wasn't as surprising or memorable as in the first volume. Yeah, definitely not. um Nothing was shocking. It was like long way coming, and it makes sense. So it's nothing shocking there or any cliffhanger. I don't remember if the first book did it as much, but the time jumps in this one felt a little more. Wait, what? Yeah, exactly. So we've got uh right. The first part was just Akin as a baby, and the second part was Akin kidnapped and living with the resistors. And in the third one, we have 20 years later, Akin being 21 ish. And the last one is right after. So we have basically two different points in time, 20 years apart. But I felt like it was surprising that we jumped 20 years, but it also didn't bother me too much. I was like, yeah, what else? I mean, of course, there would probably be a lot left to discover, but just to tell this story, it had to be like this, for sure. Yeah, Natalie, it kind of ended like, okay, how about the thing? Everyone, yeah, the thing. And yeah, exactly. And suddenly he was 20 plus, and I didn't like him much. Yeah, he wasn't very nice after that. Totally agree on the time jumps. I feel like we missed so much, and every time I fully got into the story, we switched again. Yeah, they didn't fully work for me. Fair. Uh, I think I didn't mind actually, because even when he was as a baby, he was like 1.5 year old or something, but he was so intelligent and eloquent and everything. I already thought about him as like 15, 20 year old. So then just like, okay, we jumped 20 years later, so now he's like almost adult. So I don't know, it didn't bother me all that much. I imagine there could have been a story in between. Definitely something happening for 20 years in these villages and everything. But yeah, to it had to be done this way, I guess, to explore the story she wanted to explore, instead of focusing on something we basically talked about the first half of the book, kind of. But I get it. It is a little annoying, I guess, or takes you out of the story, maybe. Especially with Akin, they're also interested in his development and growth, and then we skip it all. Yeah. Right. Yeah. How he's going to grow up, how he's not going to be danger. But then still the key is the metamorphosis, which, spoiler alert, we get to see. Um but yeah, I mean, you're right. And with the time jumps, it wasn't ideal to listen to it at work. Oh, yeah, that doesn't sound like a very compatible activity. Yeah, he was great as a baby and toddler, which feels weird to say. Yeah, he was so mature, so intelligent, and then later on, his hormones start wreaking havoc. And then, yeah, he turns a little bit into not as nice. But yeah, I didn't mind him that much. I actually thought it. I really love the underlying message in the book. I really love that, even about how messed up it is. I felt like in the first book it was just the messed up, and sure, Lilith was kind of like rebelling against them at times, but not in a way that would last. But here it really feels like Akin is just raised to be this specific person, and anyway, he decides to go his own way. So he has a lot of potential, it feels like, as a character. So I loved to see that. That he wasn't just following whatever they told him. Maybe that's what it was for me as well, Arisa. Not at work, but listening only while being tired. Maybe I just missed some connections, so I shouldn't blame the book. No, but it was a bit of jumps there. I found it kind of unsettling how they look a lot like humans now. Yeah, yeah, definitely. It's like I actually love the description of all the different types of children, how they have the very human looking children, then there are ones that are mostly human looking but have some tentacles, and then it goes all the way to the ones that are completely only tentacles, only Oakali. I actually love that. That was really interesting to see, and it was also interesting to know how Akin was able to tell the children apart. Even though they looked the same, he was able to tell who was born from who and what the properties are. That was really cool to watch, it felt like. I did miss more of Lilith. I think Lilith grew on me as a character. I know I couldn't stand her in the first book, but I think she grew on me a bit in this one, as in very conflicted character, uh, knowing that like what they are doing is good in the long term, while also really hating what's happening. And I kind of wish we would spend more time there, actually, with Lilith. But Akin was a very interesting character as well. Did anyone else feel like in Once There Were Wolves, when she goes off super pregnant to do a thing and the reader is like, oh no, he gets back from the ship and is like, time to go, and oh no. True, I didn't think of it, but yeah. Yeah. Didn't think of it that way at all, but you are right. Yes. Is the audio good? I don't know who even reads it. I read with my eyeballs. I read mostly with my eyeballs as well because I did not like the audiobook. I thought it really annoyed me the way it was read. Like I think the narrator, for me, the narrator sounded very annoyed and snappy, which is not the way I was reading it, and I preferred my way. But then at the end, last 2-3 hours, I was just panicking and like, no way, I'm gonna finish it. So then I used audiobook to speed it up. So maybe the last 30-40%, 30 maybe, um I listened to it on audiobook. So I would have preferred to listen or like to read it myself to get my vibes. Instead, I got the narrator's vibes, which is not my favorite, but I didn't want to postpone the live show. I did not like the audiobook. I think the audiobook of the first one was pretty good. But that was a different narrator because that was Lilith as a main character. Here we have different main characters, so it was different narrator. I didn't like it. But I think, yeah, Natalie was fine with it. I needed a few minutes to get into the audio, but it was fine to me after. Not something outstanding, but good. Yeah, it was alright. I'm liking the audio, listening to it on Spotify. Yeah, right, it is on Spotify. The third one is also on Spotify. But I was already out of hours on Spotify, so I got it on audiobooks. But the third one I plan to listen to on Spotify, if I like the narrator. I don't know, is it the same narrator? But I think we have a different character, so maybe not, but maybe yes. I don't know. No, different narrator. Ron Butler. I don't know if anybody knows Ron Butler. I don't know. I'm notoriously picky with audio. Yeah, me too, pretty much. I can get used to some, but if I don't like some, I just don't like it. Different person. Yeah. That's good because I did not enjoy this one all that much. So yeah. I don't know if we need to go into detail what happened in the end. Maybe we can leave some spoilers out. We already were saying some things. We already said that like some things go down and some things expected. So maybe Larissa will already go in with some expectations, but maybe it's not necessary to say exactly, unless it's of course important that you do say, because maybe we don't understand what you're talking about. But what was your favorite scene or favorite part in the book, and what was your least favorite? My favorite part was, and without saying too much again, given that, okay, going to the spaceship or to the ship, we already then get a feeling from Akin that he cares about the humans and he thinks it's unfair that how Oankali are treating humans. And I really love that he's questioning it, that he is not just saying that yes, humans are just these evil people and they don't deserve to reproduce on their own terms, but he is actually fighting for them and tries to, even though he's not one of them, he does look like them, but he's not one of them, and yet he really fights for them and realizes this problem with the attitude and with the basically freedom choice. So I really love that. I really love that was kind of like the underlying message the entire book. So I'm really curious what's going to happen in the next one, if there we are going to be focusing on the solution he found, or if it's going to be something completely else, actually. Don't hold back because of me. A little bit maybe, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Least favorite is always all the sexual references. Yes, that is definitely my least favorite as well. Whenever they have this mating scene, is just so uncomfortable. I hate it. Like in the beginning with Tino and Lilith. No, thank you. I hated those scenes. Yes, they're so creepy. I hate those. But it kind of sets the mood for what's actually happening. It sends the atmosphere of how messed up it is. I like the moment when he realized they must have left him there on purpose to learn stuff, and that's why he hadn't been rescued yet. Maybe I just enjoy smart characters. Yeah, that's true. Um, that's true. Yeah, that they left him there on purpose to learn more about them. Um, that was very interesting. I did not think of that, to be honest. For the least favorite, same, just no surprise there, but there was less in this one, or it was less intense. It was definitely less. I think there was like one or two in total, I think. Also, I think I blocked out how mates are something, sometimes siblings. Yeah. True. But they are, yeah, I guess. They're from different mothers. I guess they use the same genetics materials to create them, but they are like one is always from the human and one is always from Oankali, right? I think that's how I understood it. But it is very strange. Very strange. That was a great scene, Jess, but also so sad. Yeah, yeah, poor Akim. I love the part toward the end where Gabe didn't know what to do and he brought Akin some grass and leaves and stuff. Like he ate when he was a kid. It was such a small thing, but a huge moment. Yeah, definitely it was, especially because of the complicated relationship they had the entire time. How Gabe was quite doubtful I don't know if all the time, but definitely from the beginning. And it always felt like, yeah, there was some problem in the connection between them. So it was really lovely to see that it was like, okay, here are the leaves that you used to love when you were 1.5 year old or two or however long he was there with the resistors. Yeah, that was very sweet. Overall, I also liked how he fought for the humans without being fully one himself. He showed a lot of empathy, and I like the idea he came up with in the end to solve this. I I mean, it is, I guess, a good solution in the messed up world, but it is a messed up solution in our world, if that makes sense. I hate that that is the solution. Like, no, I'm not gonna say that, but it's like somebody's bullying you on a playground and the solution your parents give you is okay, let's go over there instead of dealing with the bully, instead of finding a way with the bully in your natural uh, habitat. They like, I find that so wrong. Exciting, I guess, but so wrong for me anyway. But yeah, also totally forgot who Gabe was until Tate showed up, and I was, oh, right, Tate, Lily's first friend. Yeah, exactly. I totally forgot who they were, but I read the recap, so it was like, yeah, right, that's who it is. Same, Jazz. I think I would have enjoyed it a bit more if we read it immediately after the first one. I'm not good at remembering characters. Oh yeah, definitely. I'm sorry about that. I agree though. I liked when Akin told people to take what he said as literal truth. Thank you. Me too. Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm not playing any games. This is the truth. I needed that recap. Oh my god, it was essential. Yeah, the same. I thought I remember a lot, and I did remember a lot, but I didn't remember the details. So that was very useful. I think I remembered I liked it. I like Lilith and Necessary Arms. Yeah. But I love that Gabe and Tate showed up again and seeing them still being torn between two options. That was very in character. Yeah, definitely. Very in character, very consistent. People do change, but it makes sense that they were very conflicted about this. So that was good that stayed, yes. Also appreciated the moments of this is how this thing works, just like on the ship. It was a clever recap for readers. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, to remind you without being too obvious, kind of. Definitely. I was in the beginning quite confused about Akin being son of Joseph. First of all, I was like, "Who is Joseph?" Then I read the recap, and I was like, "Aha, that's who's Joseph." But all right. Uh, so is Akin the child that we saw Lilith got pregnant with on the ship in the first book? But then they talk about all her previous daughters. And I'm like, wait, what? That doesn't add up. And then later they like, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna trust it because if I Google it, I'm gonna get spoiled for either the book or the entire series. So I don't wanna Google it. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna just trust the process and read the damn book. And then if I still have the question, we can bring it up and discuss it. But then it was explained that Akin was actually born 30 years after Joseph died. So that was explained. Because I was very confused. I was very confused. Yeah, and then they said Onkali can store info for years and years, but not soon enough, I feel. Yeah, yeah, it was very confusing. I wrote it down like, wait a minute, but this doesn't make any sense. Like, this is very confusing. But then they did explain it that he was actually born 30 years after. Like, okay. How old is Lilith now? But yeah. I don't know what the last book is about. I'm not sure we should read it because spoilers, or I mean, what the content is. Let me see if we can read anything about it without spoilers. The stunning conclusion to a post-apocalyptic trilogy about an alien species merging with humans form one of science fiction's finest writers. Human and Oankali have been mating since the aliens first came to Earth to rescue the few survivors of an annihilating, that's a word I cannot say, nuclear war. The Oankali began a massive breeding project guided by the Uloi, a sexless subspecies capable of manipulating DNA in the hope of eventually creating a perfect star-faring race. Jodas is supposed to be just another hybrid of human and Oankali, but as he begins his transformation to adulthood, he finds himself becoming Uloi, the first ever born to a human mother. As his body changes, Jodas develops the ability to shapeshift, manipulate matter, and cure or create disease at will. If this frightened young man is able to master his new identity, Jodas could prove the savior of what's left of mankind. Or if he is not careful, he could become a plague that will destroy this new race once and for all. That sounds awesome. That sounds dope. um, Also, is the sibling Akin feel discordant with? Is that the one he tried to bond with before it was born and he knew it would be a girl? Yes, that's the one. That is the one, yes. And then because he wasn't around, because Akin wasn't around, then it was not certain that sibling would be a girl anymore. It would be a girl if Akin was around. But since he wasn't, then it could pick, kind of decide what they wanted. But yeah, that is the one. That's how I understand it. And Jodas, it spells Jodahs. But it, I mean, definitely sounds as Judas, but it's actually Jodas. So yeah, right, okay, yeah. um, have you thought of a rating for this book yet? And in comparison with Dawn, how did you feel about this one? Did you like it more? Did you like it less? And what would be the rating? And are you interested in reading the third one? It's called Imago. It's the third and last one in the series. I think for me, this will be a 4-star for sure. Maybe if I didn't read it on audiobook the last 3 hours, I would potentially give it higher. But the way I consumed it just did not work perfectly for me, unfortunately. And I mean, I did love it. I loved everything about it. There's just some things that maybe, or maybe it's just not touching me the way a 5-star should. So maybe it wouldn't be 5-star anyway. But it's definitely a strong 4 stars for me. I think I liked it more than Dawn. I think it tackled the topics more to my liking than the first one, and definitely intrigued to read the next one. Oh, I was wondering if anyone else thought the Kali part of Kali was intentional because of the Hindu goddess Kali. Oh, Kali. Probably. What does she do? The Hindu goddess Kali. What does she do? I like it less, but it's still a 4 stars. Looking forward to the next one. Okay. That's a shame. The first one was definitely fascinating, how they're on the ship and learning about the ship and the aliens and everything. But I think this one was more to my liking. Also, probably because of the setting. I imagine we are in Amazon somewhere. Uh, I love that setting, and yeah, I don't know. I just enjoyed this one. I think a bit more. I liked it less than the first one. I was less gripped, I think, and felt less connection to the main character. Fair, totally fair. Lilith could have been us. Akin is nothing like us, so that would probably help that feeling. So yeah, I get that. I don't know why I feel like I like this one more. I think just to see the character grow, and to learn about how these babies work, how this messed up world actually is in practice, in reality, and definitely to see Akin develop from being very much Oankali to kind of like, you know what? I think Oankali are treating humans unfairly. So I really liked it. Hello, welcome. How are you doing? Be aware that we are talking about adulthood rights, and we are talking about spoilers for both this book and the previous book, just so you know. Kali is the goddess of time, creation, destruction, and transformation. Oh, really? Well, then, yeah, definitely. That definitely doesn't sound like a coincidence, according to Google. Okay, nice. I gave Dawn 4 stars, and this was like 3.5. Still enjoyed, but didn't love it. Okay, that's fair. That's totally fair. So, would you be open to reading the third one, Larissa? Yes. Jess, I have a feeling yes because you own the books. I will have to get it from library. I'm thinking May. Would that work for you to read it in May? So we take 1 month break. We have the live show for the book club, and then we come back to wrap up this series. Would that sound, or does that sound good? I need to actually search for the book. Imako. Search. But how many books called Imago are there? You can guess. A lot. Here is Imago. Wait, is there a book for the entire trilogy? Wow. Okay, but I don't need that. I only want the third one, but that's the ugly cover. So maybe I should get the entire trilogy because that cover is much nicer. You see here? This is the ugly cover. And here it looks like it's the entire trilogy and it has the nicer covers. Okay. But I'm thinking May. Interesting point, Jess. Since other names are inspired by religion somehow too, that would make sense. Yeah, that would definitely make sense. I mean, Octavia E. Butler does keep turning back to religion. Also, Parable of the Sower, like that's a religious title. So it definitely sounds like there is something to it. And I wonder if there is some Akin in some religion. Lilith, if that's some religious name as well. I don't know how I feel still. I like it less when sci-fi is on Earth with guns. Okay. Fair. Um, fair. Yes, worked great for me. Good. Yeah, also what Akin means in Yoruba, I think it was, but also Akin is a word in English. They both fit. Yeah, was it? what was it? A hero? A hero, or if it's a plural, is like a savior or something like that. Second one looks much better. Yeah, yeah. And I was trying to remember if the 80s, when it was written, had lots of discussion about the gene modification and IVF and cloning. My mom says yes. Okay, yeah, then this would be very on theme. Um, the ending made me want to read the next one. The sooner the better for me, but May is fine. If I have time before, I can always read it early. Yeah, uh, definitely read it when it fits you. I'm not gonna be able to squeeze it in April because Aurelium, and we also have the fifth season coming. Could we squeeze Imago in some Aurelium prompt? Actually, do you guys want to read it next month? Um, Otherwise, May, I think. Um, yeah, I'm just thinking because I feel like it's too early to wrap up the live show. So I'm just thinking if there is anything else I want to discuss or I took a note of. Like I know I took a note of Akin being Joseph's son while she had other daughters. But otherwise, I don't think I took any notes. Because it kind of gets into what it means to be human, but also without super directly getting into those discussions. Yeah. Yeah, I really like that. I really like how she handles those discussions. Oh, I just remembered a little comment I laughed. Something like that. A lot of psychological issues are much more connected to the body than humans thought. Octavia again being ahead of her time. Oh yeah, yeah. That was in the end, right? When uh, yeah, Yori was like a psychiatrist, and that humans not really understanding, then the mental health is much more connected to our physical health than we think. Yeah. And then the Yuri was actually a psychologist or something, mental health psychiatrist. It made a lot of sense. Yeah, yeah, that was impressive. That was very impressive as well, which and also true, very true. And still we struggle with it today in 2026, especially women, of course, going to doctor with some issues, and the doctor says you just have anxiety and stress, go home and rest. Not okay. So because there are like so many different um, things to research before you say it's just anxiety. Least of all you can do is take a blood sample. But anywho, yes, very interesting. I am excited about the last book. Just now I'm getting to understand the title of the series. Give me a second. It's called Xenogenesis. No. Yes. Lilith's Lilith's Brood, or the Xenogenesis, right? Does that mean Xenogenesis? Is a term with multiple meanings, most notably referring to the biological theory of generating offspring completely different from parents. It also commonly refers to the viral 2014 Electro House song and the science fiction trilogy by Octavia E. Butler, and 1978 short film by James Cameron. Is the movie based on the book? But the term is derived from Greek xenos, foreign or strange, and genesis, origin or creation, which again on point. I love how she puts little snippets of wisdom into her stories that make you think or hold on for a minute. One reason why I love her writing. Yes, absolutely. And I with this book, I had such a complicated feelings because I hated it. I hated the the mindset of the aliens, of what they are doing, and the way they coerced the humans to do this, and just the relationship is totally messed up. How messed up the entire story is, but at the same time it was so fascinating how it was working and that it was working. And what the potential result would be. I don't know, just like completely messed up and so fascinating. I love that. I do kind of dislike how much this series is all humans want need to have children to continue the human race sort of thing. I know it's a theme and it makes sense, just annoys me. Yeah, yeah, I can see how that could be annoying, but I think it makes, yeah, as you say, it makes sense in this series. If you are living in a settlement in a village for 30 years and nobody can have any children, everybody's gonna be obsessed with children. Like that's just natural, I think. It's not like they are choosing not to have children. It's just 30 years in and they are unable to have any. And some people just really want to. Like some people are really drawn to it. Some people no, but some people are. And so I think it makes total sense. I think everybody would be obsessed with children if they couldn't have any. The entire village couldn't have any for 30 years or something. Oh, righteous. I was a little put off by the two. It's like that is their own goal. Yeah, I get it, but I was able to dissociate from that. I like sci-fi that tackles real world issues, but in space or through aliens. It's how I prefer to engage with the world right now. Fair, totally fair. Which in this case maybe it is, but still, yeah, it is. Yeah, like I know it wasn't as accepted as it is now to be child free by choice, but it's almost presented as the Oankali discovering that we all secretly want kids. Because now, yeah, see, I didn't see it that way, and I would never want someone else to make a decision like that for me. Grumbles in American, like to have children or to not have children. Um, but yeah, I mean, yeah, it's. I think it's a. I don't know, complicated topic, but I think why it didn't bother me, like in general, I'm also not the youngest, so there are also some parts of my family that are forcing me and asking me every time, "What about children? What about children?" And I'm just like, I don't know, leave me alone. So I get that 100%. All my life, I thought I didn't want children, and I'm fine. So I 100% get that, and it's very annoying when people ask about it. At the same time, I feel like in this book, it didn't bother me at all because it was like 30 years and nobody had any children, and that's just like even if I don't want any children of my own, I would be very upset if nobody in the entire town can have any children. Like it just spells doom for somehow in the brain is like, okay, I don't need to procreate, but we as a human race do want to procreate. I don't know, that's how I'm thinking. Like to me it makes sense, even though I don't have the need to make my own offspring. I feel like we as a human race, I feel like we are still getting too many offsprings, but if there were none, I probably would get very depressed because children are the hope of the world for me anyway. Not necessarily my own, just children as a general. And I think that's kind of the theme here, maybe. That's how I take it. That is just like children as a whole express hope and freedom. Well, freedom in this specific case, but like hope anyway. Hope for future, hope for, improvement and development and everything like that. And if you don't have children, you just age and die, and like that's it. Like there is nothing you can, like you don't survive basically as a race. You have nothing to build towards as as a village, as a community. And we are very social beings, even if we are introverted or anything, but we are still very social beings. And to know that we as the community will die out can be very depressing, I imagine. So in that way, I translated it that way for me, and it made complete sense that it was such a big deal to have someone else make the decision for me based on what they discovered I wanted, not based on what I say out loud. True. Yes, I hated that as well. See, you should have started early, like I did, on the idea of grandcats. Grandcats. Also, as someone who doesn't want kids, I definitely want other people to have them if they want them. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I think we are saying the same thing, but you said it better. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I totally get it. I totally get it. Like, uh, when we got engaged with Henrik, my mom's one of the first questions was like, or when we came to visit her afterwards, she was like, "Oh, so by Christmas there could be three of you," and I'm like, or like, by Christmas next year there could be three of you, and I'm like, Mom, you already have 10 grandchildren. Why do you need more? Focus on those. Okay? Just focus on those. Leave me alone. Leave me out of it. You already have 10 of them. That's more than enough for one grandmother. No, she still is obsessed. And, she's like, your problem. And Henrik's parents, who don't have any grandchildren, and Henrik is their only child, they haven't asked about children once. And it's just such a difference. Like, you have the freedom. Like, I totally get it with the one, like, not wanting children. It's nobody's business if you want a child or not. So I'm absolutely get it. But um as I said, like, in this book it made complete sense to me. But I don't think I didn't get the feeling that from or like the way it was written. I didn't get the feeling that um the purpose of everybody's life was to have a child. I got the feeling that the purpose of the community was to grow, and you can't grow if you don't have children, basically, I think, especially in this setting. That's how I understood it, and it makes sense to me. When I worked at the salon, they always sent the kiddos to me for manicures because they knew I love hanging out with them and talking about their best color. Yeah, I mean, kids are cool, just not my own. I don't know. I feel like an analysis of her writing could go on for hours. Definitely. Show up with a puppy. Yeah, we want a puppy too, but that's another thing. Adopt or buy. But that's the thing. You want to buy from like very ethical place, right? And how do you know it's ethical? It's not ethical if, or again, moral question. There are so many dogs waiting to be adopted, and you're gonna get buy a puppy from some breeder. Like, that's what we are kind of battling. Don't know. I agree. You put that in words well. I just think that even in that extreme situation, not every single person in the community would want to have children, make the world better, and help others. Oh yeah, definitely. To get them, yes. Have any on their own? Probably not. Yeah, definitely. And I don't think that was necessarily. Um, Again, I did not understand it that way from the book. That's what uh, Octavia E. Butler was trying to say, that everybody wanted to have children. I felt it was just like a general because nobody could have children. And I think I personally would be affected by it if nobody in the community, nobody in the country could have children. I would probably feel very affected by that as well, even though it doesn't affect me personally. I don't have children, and even if I don't plan children, for example, then it still would affect me that nobody can have children, and then somebody just took it away because of whatever reason. Like, messed up, absolutely messed up in my opinion. Kind of the opposite of what they're doing with the anti-abortion things. So yeah, but I get it. It can come across as maybe like a preachy. Maybe they are saying like, everybody wants to have children. I didn't understand it that way, but I understand it could be a bit frustrating sometimes. I don't know if it was directly said or implied, but having a kid around mostly brought out the best in people. Even though a kid was super smart, everyone wanted to take care of him. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. It was when they couldn't have them or felt they wanted more. That was when the kidnapping and killing started. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I feel like the risk of adopting is you might want to take them all. That would be the risk for me. Yeah, that's one thing. It's also expensive to adopt. It's, of course, expensive to buy as well, but it's expensive to adopt. And with some of the dogs, you don't know what they've been through. So you really need to make sure that you get a dog you can handle, that the dog doesn't have trauma that you can't handle. And that's something that I'm not too sure of, because I had a dog. I loved the dog, but it was my sister who trained him, not me. I did help, but I would lie if I said I trained anything in him. I would try, and I did. I think I did a good job keeping up the training after my sister moved away, but she trained him. And I wouldn't dare say that I trained the dog. And he also was a puppy, and he is one of the most friendly, baby friendly, family friendly breeds you would ever see. And so buying a dog or adopting a dog that you don't know what the breeds are, maybe some of them are a bit more temperamental, and then what trauma they've been through could be a bit complicated for me personally. That's why I'm leaning more towards the puppy. But then there you have the other issue. But I don't know. Yeah, see, that's what I was wondering. Is that what she was saying, or was that my bias influencing my interpretation? Because I'm older and have been fighting for years. That me not wanting kids is normal, and please stop asking me. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think she actually said it. I don't think it was that it came across that way to me, and I'm very sensitive to it as well. But it didn't come that way to me. But maybe I missed something. But anyway, I don't think it was meant that way. But it was. I mean, if you understood it that way, then that's all that matters, really. If that's the feeling you got, that's what matters to you as part of your reading experience. It doesn't matter what I thought or not. I just, yeah, I'm kind of trying to explain that that's not how I understood it. Maybe it would help you to different opinions. That's why we are here discussing, right? So I don't know, but if you got that feeling, then that's totally valid as well. So yeah, it's a shame though, because I did not get that feeling. But I don't remember if it was specifically written like that. I don't think so, but it could be. I read it in a hurry. I yesterday I was 30 pages in, so I could have missed it as well. If you want a cat, just put it out into the world. The cat distribution system will make sure one finds you immediately. I would love that. I was thinking about cat as well, actually. But we have lots of plants that could poison it. So maybe when the plants die. As a former English major, all interpretations are valid and interesting to me. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, what you understood is the truth, pretty much. I didn't understand it that way, but if you did, then that's valid for your experience with the book. That's how it is. Yeah. Okay, now we are almost at 1 hour. So we got a little bit carried away on that topic, but that's good. It's part of the story, big part of the story, almost key part of the story. So I think it's very good that we dived into that a bit. And yeah, I am looking forward to reading the next one. I think we'll schedule it for May, if that's okay with you. Even though May might be a bit tight, but it'll be sometimes May, beginning of June, if I say so myself. Yes, I love the idea that everyone reads a different book depending on what they bring to it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's really cool. Really cool. Any things you would like to discuss before we wrap up? Anything else that you remembered that you would like to mention? And Larissa, when you finish, we can continue the chat on the Discord if you'd like, and share what you thought about it when you finish. I'd love to hear. The series is definitely one that sparks lots of ideas and conversation. I feel like any Octavia E. Butler does that. We've read so far 4, including this one, together, I think, and they all like so much to discuss and all so good. Like there might be some that I enjoyed a bit less or a bit more, but they are so good. They're also good. Kinda on a mission to read all Octavia E. Butler. And there is one more series. I don't know if it's also sci-fi. What is the series? The what is it called? I saw it the other day. Wild Seed. I heard all great things about that one. Patronist series, and there are 4 books in that one. What is it about? Here is one of the covers, not the new reprint. Again, this is not one I would probably pick if that's the cover. Do we have any pretty covers? Yeah, these are the better covers. Or better. More modern. Okay, this is in Polish. What the actual heck is happening here? Doro is an entity who changes bodies like clothes, killing his host by reflex or design. He fears no one until he meets Anyan Wu. Anyan Wu is a shapeshifter who can absorb bullets and heal with a kiss and savage anyone who threatens her. She fears no one until she meets Doro. Together they weave a pattern. Wait, wasn't there? Anyan Wu. Together they weave a pattern of destiny from Africa to the New World, unimaginable to mortals. Interesting. I will post an update. Thank you. I will have to read her entire list at some point as well. Maybe we should just make that happen, Just have every other month some Octavia E. Butler. That would be good. Anybody up for that, or is that too ambitious? I feel like that's the one Emily Fox said, don't start with that series. Yeah, here Emily Fox did say, she gave it 4 stars, and it says, this is the worst enemies to lovers I've read in a while. My feelings for this book were on a roller coaster. My hate for Dora was so strong that I wanted to DNF this book. I probably would have if I hadn't already read and loved so many of her books. By the 3rd part, I couldn't put it down. I wouldn't recommend it as the first book to try by her. I need to know what happens next. P.S. Be warned, it's painful to read like everything she's ever written. Ended up rating it 4 stars. That is indeed the one. Count me in. Okay. I'm here for the weird sci-fi, not the incest, but definitely the weirdness. Okay, maybe we'll make it a thing. Read all Octavia E. Butler. I need to then write down the list, and we can vote on what to read next. But we'll just start with reading Imago in May. I will post about that on Discord at some point in the near future. And yeah, I think that's it for today. Unless you have any other opinions to share right now. Yes, but read the Charles McConaughey in between because I'm dying to read it. All right, yes, you're right. Yeah. The Wild Dark Shore. We have to read that one. And I was also promising to read the Darker Shade of Magic trilogy. So we'll see. But yeah, I will definitely put it on the list and we'll figure it out. The new one, yes. Yeah, the newest one. It's called the Wild Dark Shore, not just Wild. Apparently it's really good one as well. And everybody was like, yeah, we want to read that one, so we should. But let's first finish this series. So Imago in May, and then we'll see when we read that one. We could do it in June, but we have book club in June. July, maybe, potentially. I'm on vacation, but I could read book on vacation. So we'll see. I'm gonna keep you updated and give you some polls and questions and stuff like that. Okay, but unless you have anything more to share, I think we'll wrap it up here. So thank you so much for being here with me and discussing this with me. Fun as always, interesting discussion as always. Still haven't watched the Ocean Life that I missed. Maybe I'll do that today while I'm in discussion mode. Maybe do it. Need to read Migrations ASAP. Yes, please do. It's fantastic. Yeah. Thank you for joining. Hope you have a nice rest of the day or have a good night, rest of the evening. I'll see you on my sprints tomorrow, as usual. Yes, Larissa, do it. Yes, we are all fans of Migrations. You gotta read that. You gotta read it. Where is the second one? I have Migrations and Wild Dark Short there. Where is the second one? Oh, it's over there. Okay, I need to put them together. Please share your thoughts in the Discord. Just yes on Ocean. Yes, Migrations was so good. Then watch Barbara and I discuss how much we loved it. Yes. Yeah, we boasted. You said the word. Yeah, but we loved it, and then talked about it for a long time how much we loved it. And that was probably one of the very few. Was it the first fiction book we read for the book club? So I don't know the quality of the live. I'm not saying this live is much better, but I have much more practice discussing with you. So that one might have been a lot worse, but still shared opinions and love the book. So maybe it's still fun to watch. I don't know, but hope you love it. Thank you for being here and thank you for reading with me. Hope you have a nice rest of the day and I hope to see you tomorrow. Bye.